All right, good day, everybody. It's time to continue on. We're going to start fabricating some mounts for the ECM mount and also for the Novak emulator. I'm going to put a bracket right where that daytime light module is that comes out flat. We're going to put the emulator there. First things first, though, I'm going to go underneath, have a look if we're leaking. It's been a few days. Be scared, be very scared. We're looking good. We're dry. Finally. These, I should get an extension. So, as I was saying, these unfortunately will be a self-tapping screw, which I'm not a friend of. So I are going to replace them with a Rivnut. Just gotta remember, Rivnuts are your friend until they seize up. Funny thing is, I didn't actually, and I drilled my hole too small. I didn't actually plan this out to make sure that I get the tool in there. There we have it, million times better than self-tapping screws. Just marked out my first piece. I'm gonna see what this little saw can do. And the brake. First bracket's done, we'll have to powder coat it. That's how it's gonna be. That way I can still access the module up top. Also, it couldn't be flat because you see that lip there. So that's what I came up with. Should look all right once it's powder coated. So I got my 1/4 inch to 1/8 adapter, but it won't go through because of the temperature sender is too big. So I did with this one here is I drilled it out so I won't have that issue. So then once it's threaded in, it's not going to go through the tunnel where the main transmission fluid is. I don't have the temperature sender threaded in yet, but that's going to work out just perfect. Now I'm just going to take a minute from fabricating, see if I can get a rad hose to fit up here. I might be able to modify this one to work. I got the swivel water neck black, but I also had to get a 2004 to 2008 thermostat. So even though this is an angle, not 90, I might be able to make it work. If not, I might have to stop at Green Line on the way home from work tomorrow and get a flexible 1.5-inch hose. So now I need to carefully cut this hose down. Some lube on there. Thermostat don't fall out. Oh yeah, lubricate the hole, not the shaft, makes it go in a hell of a lot easier. So that's not going to work. I could force it on and make it work, but that hose isn't designed to bend in a way it's not molded. So long term down the road, I just have issues. This is a hose I've got a while ago. It's good for 250 pounds working pressure. It's got a big steel cord in there. So I'm gonna see if I can fit this up. Fortunately, I sliced my finger for nothing. That's still not gonna work. I could force it on, but there'd be a lot of tension. The hose isn't made to bend in such a short radius like that. Auto Value still may have another universal hose 10 inches long. I'll grab it, and that should work. Oh, fuck me, I wasn't paying attention. Gashed myself on the fucking wire, for fuck's sakes. Just trying to get my ratchet on there. I left the swivel water neck loose so I could still move it around to get that hose on to fit it up in the best possible location that I could think of. The cooling system is finished now. That makes me happy now to continue making the bracket for the computer, and then once that's done, I'm going to finish tidying up the wiring, and then we can move on. We're getting so close to being able to fire it up, start testing some things. That the long awaited time is almost here. I don't know if I should be scared or excited. Fuck, look at this monster cable right here. Let's see if this sucker will run up for the alternator and back. It's not gonna work too good in my box here. That's the downside. This is a 4 gauge. Should work. So now it's time to come up with some sort of bracket to hold the computer, and where I'm gonna put it, a lot of people aren't gonna be happy about it, but I still need to put in a fan relay on top of the computer, and I still need to put a relay box in here as well. It's gonna run all my lights and accessories. But what I have in mind, I got it scribed out in the middle here. So one piece is gonna be bent around the bottom, and then it's gonna be machine grooved so it'll slide in here. And then another piece is gonna be bent around the top and then have slits machined in it. Hopefully that I could squeeze it down and clamp it. That's what the plan is. Whether or not that happens is another story. Really loving this little cutoff tool. My downside is that I cannot cut straight at all. Fucking never. I can never cut straight. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the liquor. Good morning, Sleepy. Are you just gonna stay in bed and sleep? Cuddled underneath the blankets where it's nice and warm. Is that what you're gonna do? Is that what you're gonna do, Tomcats? Tomcats, you're getting too soft now. I know you don't like the wind blowing on your hair. I know. The weather forecast says that it's not supposed to be snowing or anything, but looks like we got a blizzard starting to happen. What do you think, Tomcats? Are you gonna stay in from the storm? You're not gonna go outside, are you? You're gonna stay in where it's warm, Mr. Tomcats. So on my plate, I scribed some lines where I'm gonna bend. I could have just machined it and then used my grinder to cut it, but throw some lube on her. Let the mill do all the dirty work. So close. I think I'm just gonna take another small cut lengthwise, and then that'll be able to fit in. I got the bed locked in place, so Hopefully she shouldn't drift on me. That's what I'm talking about. It's like it's meant to be there. So I calculated the next stage using the power of threes. Cut a piece, fold it over, get that fabricated up, and figure out where we're gonna mount this. Sometimes I wish I had a shear as well, so I could just be super easy to cut those off, line up those marks. Hopefully I could get it out. I'm gonna have to pull some fingers now. I tried to be crafty and it backfired on me. So pull a couple fingers out and I should be able to get this out of there. Here we go. One more bend. I did not think this through too well, how I was gonna do that last bend. I just tweaked it a little bit, but maybe I can flatten that back out in the vise with the hammer. All right, let's see what happens now. That's gonna fit like that. This is supposed to hopefully slide over. It's a little tight. It's a little tight. I will throw some clamps on it so I can drill a couple of holes where I can put some nutserts or Rivnuts. Well, I got it made. I have it made to secure it. I just need to come up with a way to lock her down in the Jeep. Could lay it flat like that, but I have another relay box and fan relay that has to go in there. Just thinking of standing it up on its side. I was thinking something just like that. Then I have that extra space for real estate. I think that's what I'll do. Even a bonus. Got 2 holes, put a couple nutserts in. That's what I got mocked up. Just running a nutsert at the top there. Hold that into place to stop it from shaking around. And I marked it out down there so I could weld that. This is I think that'll work out. Not a fan of having that exposed the way it is because, you know, water and shit can pool in there. But I needed to put an anchor in there, and you can't really put an anchor in here the way I had it situated. Weld that plate up. So this is turning out pretty good. I got one last thing I need to do or try, which could ruin it. But I'm going to first clean off this table as best as I can. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while, I picked up these quite a while ago. They were on sale at TMR Customs. A set of dimple dies that I'm going to use for future products. But another thing came in. It's sitting on the floor there that might help out with this. We're about to find out. Now this is some high quality Chinesium right here. Already technical difficulties. So what it is a hydraulic knockout kit. I'm gonna try to use first demo on this, see what happens. Hydraulic pumps with an S. I only see one hydraulic pump here. I'm not sure where they get pumps, because that ain't a pump. It's like a cylinder. Well, time to go down the rabbit hole. I marked my holes. Sure the pump's on. And keep on going till it goes through. So this thing actually works pretty slick. If I get my piece, get the frig out of there. Hold on. A pair of pliers in there or something. I can punch them out, but I don't want to come back out easy. So I got my end on there. Through that, that's the cutter. Tighten that up. Slices through it like butter. It's about as centered as I'm gonna get it. Let's see how it turned out. Not too bad. A little off center though, because I don't have the right cutter for it. But yeah, that'll work. Add that thread down. See what happens. I think in the end that turned out pretty slick. Added those holes so it doesn't look so boring, so to speak. Pretty happy with that. Time to shut her down now. Powder coat these pieces and start assembling. You know what time it is? I think it's motherfucking beer time. I really just want to rip that big chunk of skin off, but it's been a week. That cut was deep. I know it'll start bleeding again. What does a good old fridge have to drink? Let's grab this one. 2x4 Dippa 9.9%. Holy fook. All right. 2x4 DIPA Melvin. Where's this brewed out of? Wyoming. Fodor must have got me this, but he brings me beers whenever he goes on trips. Fucking 9.9%. Jesus. Oh. God damn. It's tasty. She'll put some hair in your fucking balls. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're not going to be some fruitcake with a fucking man bun drinking this beer, that's for sure. Jesus. Anyways, moving along. Things are going good. Next video, I'm going to powder coat them, install them, start finishing off the last part of the wiring. Then once I run some transmission lines, I can crank over the engine, prime the system of oil before the startup. And we're getting very close. Every video you guys are seeing are bringing us closer to startup. But still a long ways to go. I still have to tackle the rear axle, build my suspension, and also pull the front axle out, rebuild it, truss it. So we still got a long ways to go. But we're making progress. Anyways, motherfucking beer time. I want to thank you guys for watching. Holy fuck, that beer's strong. Jesus. Motherfucking beer time.